Welcome back to another ASMR tier list video, and in this episode I'm going to be continuing my Michael Myers Halloween themed tier lists. This is going to be the second iteration of this little series that I think I'm going to make a full-time thing. I ranked all the Halloween films in the previous video, which you can check out on my channel, and I got pretty decent feedback from it, from the views to the likes to the comments. And I really love tier lists and rankings in general, so I think I'm gonna stick to this. Right now I'm going to stick with the horror movie theme, but I could branch out and do some other stuff like wrestling or video games or other interests of mine. But until then, we're sticking with this. I don't know why I said it like that. And I'm going to be doing the Michael Myers masks. Last video I did just all the Halloween films, and you can check that out on my channel. So I'm going to do the Michael Myers masks for this one. Now, I'm only doing the shape masks. So what I mean by that is the iconic white mask that we're used to, that a casual fan would be used to, because like at the beginning of Halloween, Michael has the little clown mask. In Halloween 4, when he breaks out and comes out of his coma, he has like that bandaged up face. And then there's just other iterations in the franchise. Halloween 5, there's that old man type of face with the big nose. I'm not doing any of those, I'm just doing the shape. So if you don't know how this works, S tier is the best, unbeatable. A, really, really amazing. B, it's good. C is serviceable. D, just not good at all. And F, what the hell were they thinking? They should have just scrapped it and done something else. I'm gonna start with, I'm in order here, obviously 1 through 13 minus 3, because it's not Michael Myers. And there's a couple films that have multiple, like the Rob Zombie Halloween and the Halloween 2018, those two specifically. So first up is 1978, the original Michael Myers mask, and this is easily S tier. It's too iconic to put it anywhere else. Now, fun fact, this mask is literally just a William Shatner mask. I don't know what character, is it Spock? I don't watch Star Trek, I don't know what character he is, but a William Shatner mask. Yeah, Star Trek, right? I hope I'm not sounding stupid. That they just painted white and like cut out the eye holes, and I think maybe ripped off some of the hair, but yeah. So there wasn't a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of effort, but such a simple project for such an iconic look. So that's really cool. There's not much that I can say about it. It is creepy. The scenes where he is stalking Laurie or other people, which is the premise of the shape, you don't know where he is. You just see this black figure in his black overalls in the shadows, and that white mask just stands out so much. And the dark black eye holes are a nice touch, because it's like there's nothing there. There's no eye. You're just peering into blackness and death and the death. Like, it's just crazy. Very creepy and iconic. And now I'm just basing this off the look of the mask, not the Michael Myers character and portrayal itself. So next up is Halloween 2. Now this is actually the original mask that they used from the 1978 movie. 3 years later, it's the same exact mask that Nick Castle wore. They put it on Dick Warlock. The reason it looks significantly different is because it's 3 years old. I think it was under storage or in storage, or maybe under Deborah Hill's bed or something like that for 3 years. So it sat there, it got a little smashed, it collected wear and tear and dust. And I think Dick Warlock's head is obviously a different shape, everyone's head is, so it fit him a little more snug. So even though it is literally the exact same mask, it looks different. There is kind of 2 variations of this, where like his eyes are bleeding at the end, but it's still the same mask, so I won't differentiate that. I'm gonna put this in B tier, I think. I like it, it's creepy, but I think the wear and tear on it and how skin tight it is on Dick Warlock's face makes it a little weird. It's still great, I still like it, but it's not as good, as it was in the original, which is expected. It's older, it's, again, more worn down, which does make sense, because it is 3 years later, so. Now, this is going to be my most controversial pick, the Halloween 4 Return of Michael Myers mask. This was the first mask that they completely redesigned from the ground up. They didn't use the same mask. I don't even think they used the same mold. Well, there is no mold, because it was just the Shatner mask. But they created something new, and a lot of people hate it. It's too, painted on and thick. There's no dimension to it. It's very white. Most people, I feel, would put it in D tier, maybe even F. But I'm gonna put it in C, a very high C, almost to a B. I have a little bit of bias towards this mask because I own this mask. I've had it for years. It was the, what studio? Oh goodness, I know the studio name and I can't think of it. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, and it was a Halloween costume I had for several years. Even to this day, sometimes I'll just bust it out on Halloween if I don't have, I love it. So I am partial to it. But I also think it has a creepy look in its own way. It's not the original, don't get me wrong. But there's something about it that's very... What's the word I'm looking for? Just blank. I like that blank look. It's like you're seeing, he's looking right through you. There's nothing there, and it is creepy in its own way, I think, at least. So, it is C for me. I'm not saying it's great. I mean, this is just average. It could have had some improvements. And I also am a bit partial to it, because Halloween 4 is one of, if not my favorite Halloween, right up there with the original. So, next up, oh god, Halloween 5. This is the Revenge of Michael Myers, right? Yeah, I had to think for a second. And this is unanimously the worst mask. He looks stupid. The fact that his neck, the neck of the mask is not tucked in to his overalls looks dumb. The ears look like Dumbo. The eyebrow, I don't even know what the hell they were doing when they designed this. I'm honestly gonna... It's D or F. I think D is too generous. Because F tier, I said, was they needed to just scrap it and do something else. So that's what they should have done. This mask sucks. It's not a good movie either. It's one of the worst. I used to like it as a kid. The older I get, the more I watch it, the more I don't like it. Yeah, just not a good mask, not much. It's not scary. It's silly. No matter how much you hate the H4 mask, I feel like you could even admit it has a creepy element to it. This does not. It's just silly. And the shape of it, the neck, I think kind of comes out in almost an anchor shape. I don't know. It's just not a good mask. Next up is the Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, regardless of what I feel about this movie, it is my least favorite Halloween movie. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. It's a toss-up between that and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I definitely think it's this one. I do like the mask. They tried to take it back to the original mask look, as you can see by like a side-by-side comparison. It's not as good, but they attempted it, and I can appreciate that. It's more gritty and dark, and it's probably the best looking one we've had since the original 2. That is, like the original mask itself. It's either going to be a very high C. No, because I said this was a high C, so I'm going to make this like a low B, right behind the original mask itself from H2. This one just still has a darker, more killer look to it, pun intended. Well, I actually meant like actual killer, not like, oh, that's sick, dude, but take it as you will. It's a little clean, even though I said it was more darker and grimy. That's just compared to these two. But, yeah, it's a decent mask. A bad movie, but a decent Myers look, so I will give it that. That was my mini fridge. Sorry about that. Next up, we have Halloween 20 H2O, the 20th anniversary. Now, while this is one of my favorite films in the franchise, it's in my top 3, number 3 to be exact. I'm not crazy about the mask. The mask design itself is solid. I really like it. The two things that bring it down a good bit is the hair. They gave him like a spiked Chucky haircut almost. I don't know. And then the eyes. I am never a fan of Michael Myers masks when you can see not necessarily his eyes per se, but you can see like the skin. I guess the idea that they're going for is that it is a man in a mask, and generally you can see the eyes and the skin, like your cheeks around the eyes. But I don't love that for a Michael Myers mask. Some masks, it's okay. You can get away with it. But like this one is just way too... I don't know. Again, the mask itself is solid. It's that hair and the eyes. I just can't. I don't know. So it's not F. It's not D. Is it? It's definitely not A. So is it C or B? I don't think it's B. So I guess C. Do I like it better than the Halloween 4 mask? I don't know. They're very close. Yeah, I don't think it's B. It would be B. Even if they kept the hair and just didn't have those eyes there, it would be B easily. If they changed the hair and fixed the eyes, it might even be A. But it's just those two things. I think I'm gonna keep it in C tier. And I guess for now, put it above H4. But again, they're very close. They're pretty much interchangeable for me. Yeah, and now I'm not including the CGI masks from this film. I'm just the basic one. And I'm also not including, there's one scene. It's not on this tier list that I found, and I just realized it. There's one scene in Halloween H2O, and I believe it is where Michael is reaching for the keys that's behind the gate. Or no, he gets the keys, and then he's trying to open it. And as soon as he opens up the gate, Laurie's son and his girlfriend get back inside, and they slam the door, and Laurie and Michael meet face to face between the door. I think that scene, it's a totally different mask. He's got like a giant nose, and it's ugly. That would go down to like D or F, but that's just like one scene, and it's not on this list for some reason, so I just now remembered it. But yeah, we'll keep it C above Halloween 4. It could easily be B or A if it wasn't for those two things, though. So now Halloween 7, which it's just called Halloween. Oh my God, Resurrection. I had to think for a second. This movie is not good. It was a childhood favorite of mine, mainly because I had it on VHS. But the mask isn't bad. It's a basic, kind of dirty Michael Myers mask. And that's about it. It's not F. It's not D. Is it A? No, I don't think it's A. It's B or C again. Do I like it more than Halloween 2? I don't. Do I like it more than Curse? I don't. I think it's right there below Curse. I think I do like it more than H2O. And maybe Halloween 4. Yeah. But is it B? Is it C or B? Something about it looks a little too human-like. Oh, this is hard. C or B? It's like... I'll keep it in B for now. No, C. I'm going a high C, a very, very high C. Now I want to switch those the more I look at it. Yeah, I'm going to put Halloween 4 there. Halloween 4 just has that soft spot for me. Actually. Yeah, I'm putting Halloween 4 up here. I know it's going to do... Some people just hate it, but something about it I like. Again, I don't love it, but I think I'll... Really, these three are kind of interchangeable. I could see them being, like, in any order. Because they're just all three average. They have their own flaws. But their own strengths as well. Although I do say that this one has the most potential, because it could easily be A if they fix those two things. So for that reason, I'm going to put it at top. And nostalgia makes me want to keep this. I'll do that. We'll do H2O, Resurrection, Halloween 4. I don't know what to do. I'll come back to this. Alright, next up would be the Rob. Just drink some water, that was the noise you heard. Some Rob Zombie movie masks. Now, there are two variations of the 2007 version. The first one is the mask that he gets as a kid. And then the next one is like when he becomes an adult and he goes back to the Myers house, he finds it under the floorboards. So it's more worn down and weathered. The original, though, it's definitely either high B or a low A. It's the closest one that we've had to the original since Halloween 6, probably. And even then, it looks a lot more like the original, so I'm gonna keep it an A because I do really like this. And then same thing for the tattered version, but I'm gonna put it above. I love this worn down, weathered look. There's something to it that I do really enjoy about that mask. And when I think of the Rob Zombie Halloween, this is the first one that comes to mind. I kind of forget that, oh yeah, it's like that because he, found it. Now that I think about it, there is another mask in this movie, but it's not the Myers mask. It's when he's in the insane asylum and he makes all of his masks that are on the wall, but again, I'm not including that one. Next up is Halloween 2. Now, I don't like this mask for the simple fact that you see his face. You should never, under any circumstance, in my opinion, see Michael Myers' face unless it's part of the story. So like at the very end of the original, Laurie takes his mask off and Michael kind of freaks and puts it back on. And that gives you the first indication that there's something about this mask that gives Michael his power. He doesn't want his face to be seen. There's that, what is this? And then in the remakes, 2018, you kind of see the back of his head and the side view of his face. And then in the other ones, you see just glimpses of him. He gets his mask stolen, and again, it's like that power. There's something with the mask. That is okay. But when you just incorporate throughout the entire movie, you can see half of his face. I don't like that. And again, I reiterate from my previous video that this movie just doesn't feel like a Michael Myers Halloween movie. I don't know. I love Rob Zombie. Well, I really like Rob Zombie. I wouldn't say love, but yeah, this film I'm not crazy about. It's not F tier. I mean, because the design itself isn't bad. It's just a more tattered, worn down version of the first one. The problem is the face, so I'm gonna put it in D tier, because D tier is basically, again, they needed to make some major adjustments, and that major adjustment would have been just cover up the face. I don't want to see his face. I cannot get past it. It bugs me so bad. Next up, we have the new trilogy, starting with the 2018 Mask, and this is A tier, maybe even S tier. No, I think I'm gonna. I love the look. I'm gonna put it in a very, 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 very high A. The only thing that stops it from going to S is the fact that it feels, I even thought this when I watched it, it feels too fake. And what I mean by that is when you see the close-up of the mask, it doesn't necessarily look like it's a worn-down mask that is now, supposed to be 40 years old. It looks like they took a brand new mask and painted it to look worn down, which is exactly what they did. So but the Rob Zombie ones, they look legit tattered and worn down. This one, it does look a bit, and it's good. They did a good job, but that's the one thing that's holding it back from being S tier, in my opinion. And I do like it a bit more than the Rob Zombie ones. It's close. The Rob Zombies are good, really good, but something about that is just, it has the original Myers look more, I feel. So, next up, we have Halloween 2018 again, I believe, but this, oh no. Is this 2018 or is this Halloween Kills? I forget which one this was incorporated in, but it's the flashback scene to 1978. So they tried to make it an exact replica of the original Mask, because this movie these are direct sequels to the original. It skips all these other ones. And I'm going to put it in S tier for that simple fact, because, I might even like it more than the original Mask, because whereas the original 1978 Mask is quite literally a different mask. Again, it's the Shatner mask that they cut up and made their own, whereas this mask is a complete remodel from the ground up, copying this. Do you get what I'm saying? So this mask had no basis. They just winged it, went with whatever they got, and it looked great. Whereas this, they have a basis, I don't know, they're very close. I guess you could call them a tie. I will say this does look a lot more clean. And something about the original has that eerie, creepy feeling, but they're pretty much interchangeable because they're essentially the exact same thing. But but for nostalgia purposes, I'll keep the original at the top, but they're both S tier. Now for Halloween Kills, it's the same mask as the 2018, but it's burnt from him escaping the fire. I'm going to put it in A tier, and I'm going to put it just below the 2018, like just below. I really like it. I love the burned effect, don't get me wrong, but I didn't have that same feeling of, oh my god, Myers is back, that I did with this, because and it's not fair because this came after this, but when I saw that mask for the first time, I was like, when he reaches in the trunk and puts it on, you get that feeling of yes, Michael Myers, the Michael Myers is freaking back. So it's just that feeling that gets the edge. And then Halloween Ends, again, is the same thing. These three are the same mask. This is just more worn down and more burnt, but they're essentially the same thing. And I don't know if there's one that I really like more than the other. You don't really see this one that much because he's not in Halloween Ends that much. So for that simple fact, I'll put this one above then. Alright, let's do a final look through. So, from the bottom up, Halloween 5, definitely F tier. Rob Zombie's Halloween, D tier. It has the potential to be a B tier type of mask. It's just, the face, I can't get past that. Resurrection, I like, it's decent. It's just something about it. The shadowing is a little too much on it. And I don't like that you can see his eyes again. And the lips are a little weird. And the eyebrows too, now that I think about it. Halloween 4, I know a lot of people, again, would put this down here. It's got a soft spot in my heart for some reason. It's creepy in its own way. And then H2O, again, has the potential to be A tier. If they fixed the eyes and the hair, this would probably be right here, truthfully. But because they didn't, and this is what we have, it's going right here. Halloween 6, terrible movie, worst one in the franchise in my opinion, but a decent mask. It's the best replica of Myers since the new ones. I will give them that. They definitely, since the Rob Zombie in this new trilogy, it's the best version that we've got. Halloween 2, it's the same exact mask as the original, but it's a little different, not as good, but definitely very creepy in its own way. It's creepier than the Curse of Michael Myers mask, which is what's giving it the edge. A tier, we get the Rob Zombie originals here. The more I think about it, the more I want to switch these. But I think I'm going to keep it because I do like that Rob took his own direction and did make it worn down, so we'll do that. And then the Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills, they're pretty much interchangeable. Because they're almost the same thing, just more burnt. And then Halloween 2018 is so iconic. Bringing back the original look. Again, it has the potential to be S if it didn't have that fake, worn down look to it a bit. But, and then S tier, you got the original and the remake of the original. Again, I could almost switch them. This has its own nostalgic, creepy, scary vibe to it. Whereas this, you only see for one scene anyway, I think. And it is more clean and precise. But at the end of the day, it is just an exact copy. And you gotta put the original first if it's gonna be that. So, because without this, we wouldn't have this. or this, or this. So, actually, that's not true. We could probably have these down here, because they don't look anything like it, really, but, well, yeah, but you get the point. So, that, I believe, is my ranking. It's very tricky, like I said. C tier is kind of interchangeable, and A tier is interchangeable as well, other than this. This is definitely above the rest. These four I could be switching, well, yeah, I could see these four being switched around a bit, especially these two and these two, and then C tier. Other than that, it's pretty definitive. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like or hit subscribe for more content like this. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the continued support, and I will see you in the next episode.